I think, are we live? All right, excellent. Hi, this is minutesformom.com, and we're here for the Work at Home Mom Strategy Hour. And I am with my host, Kelly Miller, my co-host, Kelly Miller, from Three Boys and a Dog. And we have expert guest with us, Nadia Carriere from Child Mode. And we're thrilled to have Nadia with us here today. Nadia is one of our good blogging friends, and Nadia has been for a long time blogging at Child Mode. Now she also blogs at a host of other sites, Babbel, a lot of Babbel sites, Disney Babbel and other sites like that. And she's become quite the expert with Instagram and with sharing photo tips into the Traveling Moms group there for their Instagram group. And so we're really thrilled to have Nadia here sharing with us how we all can improve our businesses. Now, whether your website is for your business, or a blog, just a blog, or your blog is related to a business, any business really can be improved by improving your visual aspect. Now, so Nadia is going to join us. Kelly is going to be really watching a lot of the comments in the event stream and interjecting and interrupting Nadia with great questions from you guys. So please type in your questions. We're going to have a bit of a dialogue here with Nadia, really going into some deep training on photo tips and how to edit photos, share with Instagram and that type of thing. All right, let's get going, Nadia.
Thank you, Susan. So happy to be here. Susan and Kelly, thank you for having me. My site, Child Mode, is really, we focus a lot on images. So even the whole layout of our site, if you visit our website, you'll notice that we use a lot of very large images. On Babbel, Disney Baby, I use a lot of collages. You'll notice if there's roundups or anything like that, there'll be like a top 10 banner on the top, and it looks really pretty. It's very visually appealing, and it does very well on Pinterest. You may notice when you're scrolling through Pinterest that there's top 10, dresses for moms, baby gear, and everything has like a little banner on top. Now, in the past, Photoshop was the way to go. That's how we edited all of our photos. It still is, one of the most one of the best editing softwares out there, but it takes, there's a real learning curve. It takes a lot to learn the program. It also is not very cheap. So I think it runs around $600 or something like that.
The full version. I know I use as well. I don't have the full version of Photoshop. I never have, but I use Elements. But also, it's just not even available when you switch computers. I mean, these days I think we pop around from one laptop to another laptop. We're in the airport, we're wherever, and you want to pull up something quickly, often online.
Yeah, and there's a new pricing model that they actually just introduced. I think I read about it 2 days ago. And all of their programs will now be available on a subscription basis only. So you will no longer be able to buy the entire program. You won't be able to own it outright, so you'll have to pay a monthly fee instead. You'll still be able to buy the CS6, but the program won't be receiving any new updates. So you're basically stuck with that, and if you want new updates, you got to pay this membership fee of, I think it's $29 a month for just one program, which adds up. I mean, $30 a month is a lot.
Now, can I just interject to ask Kelly? Kelly, do you use Photoshop Elements or Photoshop, or do you use other all online tools?
I use pretty much all online tools.
Just a second.
I thought that was me. I was shutting my phone off. Yeah, I use all free stuff. I just don't have the money to spend on something like that.
All right, well, excellent, because that's what we're going to be focusing on, are other tools besides Photoshop. Okay, so continue, Nadia. Yeah.
It doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. There's lots of programs out there that are free, and some of them, dare I say, are almost just as good as Photoshop, if not better. I mean, I'm using some apps that are doing things that I have absolutely no idea how to do on Photoshop. I wouldn't even know where to start. So basically, I do most of my editing all on my iPhone or on websites that are either free or don't cost hardly anything. PicMonkey is an online program that is very popular. It's excellent.
We are huge PicMonkey fans. Janice is always raving about it on the site, and yeah, we feature PicMonkey lots. And Kelly, you're a big PicMonkey user as well, right?
I do use PicMonkey some. I don't use it for my collages and all. Actually, I have Publisher because it came with my computer, and I use it for everything.
Publisher. Oh, interesting.
Is that a Windows program?
It is. It's a Microsoft. It's for like magazines and all, but I use it to make my collages.
Oh, fab. I'm not familiar with Windows programs, so there might be some really good ones out there. I'm just not. I use all Macs.
It's not a photo editing thing, but I used to run a local newspaper, so I'm really familiar with it and good with it, and so that's what I use.
Awesome.
Yeah, sometimes you just end up using what you happen to know, whether or not, that's exactly what the tool is for.
Right, and there's another example that's your computer may already have some programs that you can use on there already. PicMonkey is free for the most part. It gives you lots of freedom to edit your photos, to add text on the top, create collages. You can spiff up your photos in really neat ways. So during Halloween, you can like make yourself, dress yourself up and paint your skin green and all kinds of stuff like that. I use it mostly to create collages. And there is a royalty version if you want to really get more in depth. That allows you to fix red eye. You can clone areas, so if there's like a blemish, you can fix that on there as well. It makes it more of a heavier program, and that's only $33 a year, which is really, I mean, for $33 for the entire year, it's a real bargain. So I use the royalty version of PicMonkey. I can just show you. Let me just show you a couple of examples.
Yeah, we use the royalty version as well.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I use it.
Or Royale, I guess it's called. We're calling it royalty. I think it's Royale.
Royalty.
Is it royalty or whatever? Whatever it's called. The paid version. That's just a little bit of money.
Here's an example of one that I just did yesterday for Disney Baby.
Hang on one second, Susan. Your cameraman, if you'll click on her, then even if we talk, her page will stay up.
Oh, perfect.
So I don't know if you see it there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one that I just recently did for Disney Baby, and it was a slideshow post featuring, cute cakes and cupcakes for Mother's Day, and I was able to put some of them together in a collage and put, it looks really pretty. It's cute, and it's definitely great for Pinterest, which is excellent for traffic. It's just, if you see something, it tells you exactly what it is. It has the title there. You know what you're pinning, and you know that it's a post filled with all those great ideas. So
now, can I ask you a little question? So how did you create the little background for the title, that little overlay? Have we lost you?
Yep, we lost her.
Oh no! I ask her a question, she disappears. Well, I'm sure she'll be right back in. Oh no, Nadia, come back, Nadia! I'm sure she'll be right into there. Okay, well, while she's oh, there she's coming back in.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Okay, no problem. You can. I was just asking you how you created that the cute little background
on the image.
Yeah, the little swirly little background behind the title.
Exactly. That's just an example. Like, those are little icons that are included. So you paste them on top of the photo. You can pull them. You can make them wider. You can make them skinnier. You can make them smaller. You can use them to create little. There's flowers. There's hearts. You can create borders on the side. You can make them into. You can frame your photos. You can do basically anything with that program. So
but that's with PicMonkey.
Yeah, and the curved edges of the photo, that was all done within PicMonkey as well. You can soften the edges of your photo, make them round or keep them square. You can adjust the width in between each photo if you like.
Yeah.
And you can resize.
Kathy wants to know, is it possible to make opaque banners to put text in on the free version of PicMonkey?
Yes, I believe you can. Yes, it's more of the editing of like the red eye, the fancier fonts. Like, they have really swirly, curvy fonts. Those are available in the Royale version. But simple things like that with banners, that is totally free.
I have one question with PicMonkey. maybe you can answer for, or we can talk about later. When, actually, it's just a little detailed one. We'll go into it later, maybe when we actually have PicMonkey open. And
sure. Here's another example of one that I just did for Babbel, where I put all of the, it was a travel post here, and I put a bunch of different locations around. It looks like, I mean, it's very pin-worthy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's great for Pinterest. So if you're not doing this, it's definitely something that you should be doing, because it's, you know, it'll increase your traffic. It's very, very visually appealing. That's the other thing. If you're writing a personal blog and you're not doing so much, you know, product or travel, and you're just writing stories, you should still have some kind of visual aspect to your blog, because it's what grabs people. The photo, it's the first impression, that photo. You know, in the past it wasn't so important. The writing would definitely be the main, you know, you'd scroll through the blogs and it would just be post after post after post. Mm-hmm. But over the past 2-3 years, Pinterest is where it's at. I mean, if you're not on Pinterest, you're missing out major, big time.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's funny, when we started blogging way back, lots of our posts didn't even have an image. Now I would never press publish with a post that does. A post has to have an image, has to have a, you know, the thumbnail. Our layout now for the magazine style layout of 5 Minutes from Mom has preview thumbnail images for everything. You have to have an image, so a post won't get published without an image. Right,
and you mean it doesn't have to be, you know, if you're writing a story about, you know, I don't know, just about day-to-day life or something that you can, if any of you use Instagram, you can use that as your personal stock gallery. So if you take photos of, you know, flowers or sunsets or the sky, you know, pull those images, use them. You have
good idea. I never sort of even thought about that. You know, I end up using so many stock images for images that go in with posts and this and that. I use so much stock imagery, and I know I should use more. I like that idea of going back and looking through your own Instagram, because lots of times it's not necessarily, especially when you're embedding a bunch of them in a collage, it's not like each photo has to be you know, super high res and some big gigantic photo. It can be an Instagram shot.
Right, and now Instagram, like I said, I'm not sure if everybody is very familiar with the program or if they're using, but so I'm just going to throw this out there. You probably know this already. But if you have Instagram, you automatically have your own website. Every single user has their own site. So it's instagram.com/your username. So I'll just give you an example. I'll show you mine. And it's really pretty. I mean, you have to do absolutely nothing. It's already done for you. So just check it out if you have time. Just visit your own site. Here's mine. I don't know, do you see it there right now?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. So see how they just keep switching?
And these are all photos you've taken with your smartphone?
100% taken by I do not use DSLR or any other phone for using these photos. So here are just some of my most recent ones. I was at Mom 2.0 Summit, so there's a lot of photos from there. Here's a picture of the sunset, okay, that I took. This was an edited photo. I'm going to try and get an example to show you what it was before and after, so you can see the power of the filter, because there's a lot of power in a filter. It can make your photos looking
Filters are amazing. I just love them.
Yes. So this, I mean, here's an example right here. Here's a photo that I took. You know, I'm not going to use it in a product roundup. No, of course not. But if there's like a Wordless Wednesday, Susan, you guys do that on your site. Yeah, that would be a great Wordless Wednesday photo. Or if you're writing about, you know, some thoughts that you have, or
you could even use that like in a bit of a background of a quote. You could put right here I am. You could put an overlay on, you know, on part of it so that you could get a quote. You know, have an area where you can read text on it and put a quote in there.
Of course, that would be great. I mean, I do a lot of those quotes, and you need photos for the background. That would be a great example of that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, here's another one. If you're writing about your day, look, that's real life right there. That's my Saturday morning. So.
I love that. That's great.
So anyway, that's just an example. There's all sorts of things you can do here. Here's another. Here's an example of an app that I use within my Instagram. So if you're taking photos, you can create a collage and then post that into your Instagram. You are not stuck using the filters on Instagram.
Okay, I need you to show me how to do this, because I don't know how to do this yet. What app are you using?
Okay, so this was done using, hold on, I've written it down right here. That one was done using PicFrame.
PicFrame. Okay, I'm going to type that into the chat here. Just like, it's called PicFrame, and it's an app. And so, is it an iPhone app, or how do you get it?
Okay, so it's an iPhone app. There's InstaCollage and PicFrame. I'm not sure if it's available for Android, but they are both.
Collage.
Yeah, I'm going to show you another example here of a collage.
Yeah, Insta PicFrame on my Android.
Do you?
To make collages.
Perfect.
What did you say you use? What was that? Or Kelly, maybe type it into the chat there.
It's Insta Pic P-I-C frame.
PicFrame on
Android.
Okay, I type there and see if I got that right. So that's what Kelly uses. Now, Anne-Marie has a question saying, are you saying collages are more popular on Pinterest than single images? I wouldn't say it's a one or the other, but what are your thoughts on that then?
Collages are good if you're showcasing more than one product. You know, if you're doing like a roundup of something, whether it be a DIY, a craft, you know, projects that you're working on, or I don't know, like any kind of product roundup, definitely do a collage. I'm going to give you an example of my Pinterest where you'll see like the pins that I have pinned myself from other people. It's just a bunch of collages where people have put everything together. It's really popular with fashion bloggers. That's all they do is the collages. So they'll have, you know, an outfit that we'll piece together using Polyvore, which used to be the only way that you could do that. Now you can do it your own with PicMonkey. So to answer your question, it really depends. If you have a great image that's really eye-catching and just, you know, it pops and you think, wow, like it gives you that wow factor, use it. Absolutely use it. I use a lot of single images in my on my posts as long as they, you know, they pop. Because you only have that split second. You're competing probably isn't the right word, but you're putting your photos out there into this huge, vast site where in a second it's flushed out. It's flushed out depending on how many people your friends are following. So you only have that split second to make that impression, and if they don't pin it, you know, it doesn't get shown again. So you think really carefully before you pick your photos, because it can make or break whether or not it will get repinned, or whether somebody will look at it and say, oh, you know what, I really want to read that, or I really want to share that, or I really want to send that to my friend. The image is what, in my opinion, is what sells the post. Of course, it has to be good writing. I mean, don't get me wrong, you have to have excellent writing and good grammar and stuff like that, but that first impression is made by the image.
Exactly. Now I'm just going to flash over to Kelly there for a second. Kelly, you are a big Pinterest user as well, right?
I am. I love Pinterest. Pinterest sends me about 60% of my traffic on my homeschooling site.
60%. Wow. So, Kelly, if you just want to type in as well, I know everybody knows our site, Three Boys and Dog, but maybe just toss in your Pinterest page just right there in the chat window as well. We can toss all of our ones up there. And your child mode on Pinterest as well, right, Nadia?
I'm child mode on Pinterest, on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere I'm child mode.
Yeah, excellent. And we're 5 minutes for Mom everywhere as well. But we'll get those up there as well. Yeah, we are huge Pinterest fans, absolutely. We used to run Pin It Friday, where we were pinning every Friday using a roundup. I actually paused doing that for a while, just because how I used to run it is I used to make an image that was like all about me loving Pinterest, but I was getting, after doing week after week after week of them, I was having troubles coming up with something else that I hadn't already done. But I'll share a couple of those images, because those kinds of, I'll go pull them up while you're chatting, Nadia, because some of those got repinned really a lot. So just a sec, Nadia. I'll toss it back to you now, Nadia. I'm going to pull up some of those links.
Just to give you an example, like Chanel did an ad a while back where there was a woman. It was just a spreadsheet magazine ad where she was holding a cone, an ice cream cone, with C, like the Chanel C, all down the ice cream cone. It was a really clever ad, but I thought, I mean, as soon as I saw it, I thought, that's really neat. So I put a post together, including that image. That image has been pinned. I mean, I don't even know how many times. It brought me, I think, 60,000 hits 1 month, and it just keeps on going. So you don't know. I mean, it's crazy, and it's not even really, you know, it's just a picture of a woman with an ice cream cone, but because it had the Chanel logo on it, it was just really cool. Everybody thought, oh, wow, it triggered that wow factor. It triggered that, oh my goodness, I need to see that again, or I need to share that, or you know, if you have that inside where it triggers that, you know you have the right image.
I have a question. So maybe I missed it because my dogs are fighting, but did you have to get permission to use the Chanel logo on your picture?
That is actually a magazine ad that was in a magazine, so it was a media image that was available to the press or to bloggers or newspaper. So yes, that's another tip. Be very careful where you can't just grab images from anywhere. You know, you have to email the source or email the company to see if you can use those images. That one was, like I said, an ad, and we are considered somewhat of press, so I was able to get permission to use that image.
Great question, though, Kelly. Definitely, Pinterest is one of those places where you have to be really careful.
Yes, and use your own images as much as possible. Like, don't go taking it. I mean, everybody should know this, but don't go taking other people's images or cut off their
copyright.
Thank you. Their copyright or their, you know, don't do that, because you can get in major trouble, and Pinterest will shut it down. They will, if there is any kind of complaints, they will remove it from their site immediately. So in order to create these images, you want, if you're taking photos, you want to spiff them up, right? So if you're not using your DSLR and you're using your smartphone, how do you do that? What kind of apps do you use? So for myself, I have a few favorites. There are loads. Kelly, which ones do you use for Android? Do you use any kind of editing apps?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just what I said. I use Instagram, and I use yeah, that's kind of it. I'm not a big picture person on my phone. I take the pictures on my phone, and then they automatically upload to Google Plus because it's an Android.
Right.
And so they're in my Google account, and I can pull them out there and do whatever I want with them.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little list together of which ones are available for Android, because I know a lot of people are Android users. I just didn't get that together today. I don't know. I was just thinking iPhone the whole time. So I will get a little list that Susan can put onto the post when we're done. But the ones
and also, if you have any ideas for any of our Windows phone users, we're
right.
Windows ambassadors as well, so we should be talking Windows as well.
Sure, I'll get a list of those as well. And these might work with them. I'm not sure. I didn't check. But I do know for sure that they work with iPhone and iPod. So your phone automatically has a camera app, which is okay. I mean, you can take video and photo with that. With the new iPhone 5s, you can take pictures while you're recording, which is really neat. So you're not just stuck recording and then you have to shut it off and turn it back on. So you can take photos while you're taking video. I don't shoot with my regular camera. I use Camera Plus. It's an app called Camera Plus.
Oh, interesting. So when you take the actual photo, because I'm always on my iPhone just using the actual camera. So you use Camera Plus.
And I never use the camera on Instagram. If I'm taking a photo, I never use the Instagram.
Yeah, no, I never use the Instagram camera either, but I just always use the regular camera. So I got to type that in. Camera Plus is what you use. Okay.
Yeah, like the actual plus sign.
Camera Plus. The camera, it goes camera, adding sign.
Camera.
Like
is this
Google
called camera?
Plus.
Like Google Plus.
So that's the one that I use for shooting my photos. You can adjust exposure. You can touch to focus. You can touch to expose. So you know when you double tap and all of a sudden it goes dark, and then you double tap and it's too light and you're like, oh my gosh, I just cannot get this shot. It's driving me crazy and I can't get this proper shot. Here it's got like a little circle, so you can slowly adjust the exposure, pull it back or push it back out.
Oh, wow.
To get that perfect shot. So you're not stuck just tap it with that one tap. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
It drives me crazy. It drives me totally crazy.
Yeah.
So you can adjust the exposure and touch to focus. You can zoom in further than with the regular camera. what else does it have? There's a timer. So if you buy a tripod, you can get little tripods at your local computer shop. Here in Canada, we have Future Shop, and they have these little, I think it's called a Gorilla Pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can twist your iPhone on there and adjust the legs and put it somewhere and take a photo of your family on a timer, which is amazing. Because before, the only way you could do that is with a professional camera or, you know, more expensive
That's
camera.
so cool.
Yeah. So I love that.
The BlackBerry, because I'm a Verizon Wireless ambassador, and we got the BlackBerry. The BlackBerry phone, the new one, the Z10, actually has a it's a timer, and I don't remember what they call it. But so when you take a picture, you can either go backwards or forwards on the picture to find the right time. So like if you blink, you can go back and get them with their eyes.
That is so good.
It's really
amazing.
I love that.
That's almost a reason in itself to get a BlackBerry. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost a reason to switch over.
Fantastic.
I hope Apple comes out with something like that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just that one app. It also has like a burst option. So if you're like shooting your kid in a soccer practice or whatever, and they're running, and you don't want to just, you know, there's the pause. There's always that and you have to wait.
Yeah.
Take next photo. It's a burst option. It just goes. You know, you just shoot.
Oh, awesome.
So it's got it's a camera zooped right up. So that's
just an app that you get in the App Store for the iPhone, and it costs a few bucks, kind of thing.
It might be free. If it's not, any of these apps will not be more than $2. So either 99 cents or $1.99. I mean, it's
it's crazy.
It's crazy. My absolute favorite editing app, like of all time, if I had to pick one app and I had to throw all of the others away forever, it would be Snapseed.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's all one word.
Snapseed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know what? I have it, and I don't use it.
Oh, it is.
So I to use it. I just haven't learned how to use it, or just tried. So because someone told me it was so good.
It's amazing.
Okay.
So that's the one that I do use the most. And I mean, sometimes I shoot a photo and it doesn't have to be edited. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't edit all the time. But if you want to do, you know, fix your photos up a bit, make them look pretty, these are the ones that I use. So anyway, Snapseed.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you use Snapseed and why I should start using it? So what's your sequence? So you take the photo using Camera Plus, and then you open up Snapseed, or how do you do it?
Okay, so you take your photo with Camera Plus, and you add, as you take these photos, you have to save them into your photo roll, right?
Yeah.
And then when you open up Snapseed, it'll give you the option to either take a photo through Snapseed or pull one of your images that you already have. Okay, so you pull that image, and then you can add filters, you can adjust white balance, you can adjust lighting, you can make it sharper, you can make it softer. I mean, you can do more with Snapseed than you can with Photoshop, I believe, with editing.
That's amazing.
Like, I mean, I could go. What else? I mean, I'm just.
So if you were going to make, say you were going to take.
It's a Google product. It was bought out by Google.
Snapseed. Oh, cool. So if you were, so then it must be available on Android as well.
Yeah, I guess. I'm pretty sure.
It would make sense. So if you say you were going to take a series of photos of your kid in a bunch of different outfits, for example. Say you were reviewing, or say you were a store and you are selling a bunch of clothes or a bunch of items, and you want to throw them in a collage and put them up on your Instagram page or whatever.
Right.
Walk us through that sequence. You're going to take all of them. Tell us the sequence.
Okay.
You know, before you go with that, we have a question.
Sure. Okay.
Kathy wants to know if she should watermark all of her photos.
For her website? It's up to you. It's 100% your choice. If I'm posting pictures of my kids, I watermark every single one of them. That's just my own. That's it. I mean, that's just my own preference. If I'm doing a travel where there's a lot of really nice photos that I've taken, I usually watermark them. If I'm doing a collage with clothes where there's like different patterns and stuff like that, and I put a collage together, no. If I'm doing a roundup where it's like top, you know, like I did with the top 10 cakes or cupcakes, no. But if it's an image that you're really, really, you know, if someone took it, you'd be really upset.
And
Definitely.
And so which app, how do you do that in your apps? Like, to be honest, I watermark images often when I'm in, when I'm in PicMonkey or when I'm in Photoshop, often by putting an overlay in there. But how do you do it in the apps?
There are
How do you do it in Instagram?
On it, you can't. You
Okay.
can't. You can't do it on Instagram. You have to take your photo, add the overlay, and then upload it later on to Instagram. There are a few.
That's why I never get it done.
There are a few apps that you can do that, and I will give those names to Susan, and she'll put them on the.
So you can't do it in Snapseed, for example.
No, you can. I think you can do it in PicFrame or InstaCollage. There might be an option to put text, but if you want that nice, crisp, watermark that's like a little bit see-through, the really nice professional look, you can't do it with those. So I will get a list. There are a couple, I just don't know them off the top of my head.
Okay. So that means you're not, so when you're taking images, but when you're taking an image with Instagram and all these different images at different places, and then you're going to post them on your blog, then you can pull them into PicMonkey or whatever and throw your watermark on it there before you put it onto your blog, right?
Right. But if you want to put them into your Instagram with the watermark, you'll have to do that with an app.
Yeah.
Just for my own personal, I don't watermark all of mine either, just because I never remember to.
Right.
But Crystal and company, Crystal is a lady that I work with on a weekly hangout. She says that you should put your web address on every single picture that you put on your site, because with Tumblr and Pinterest and all this, people can take your picture and your content and link, all that through Pinterest, and so you're not getting credit for your stuff. So she says she puts it on there every time. That way, if her picture shows up somewhere else, it still has her URL on it, so people can still find her to find the original content.
That's smart.
On 5 Minutes for Mom, up until just basically starting to use Pinterest, we never bothered watermarking anything. I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care how much if someone takes whatever. I just wasn't bothering. But as soon as we started using Pinterest, absolutely, I put a watermark on pretty much most of the photos that I put on the site. Now, say I'm making a stock image, like, or I'm using a stock image. So, for example, I'm just going to screen share over to, just 1 second, let me just show my desktop. I want to show this. Do you see this image here?
You're not screen sharing.
Oh, I'm not screen shared. Why am I not screen shared? Just a sec. Oh, I forgot to hit. Okay, just 1 sec here. I just want to show. Do you see this image here? This one, I made this little image show. This is just showing what you can do with a stock image to sort of make it kind of make it your own. It's not that it's your own, because it's a stock image and it's obvious that I've bought it as a stock. I've paid for it as a stock image. This is one off of iStock, so it cost me a little bit of money, but I love this image, and this is when I was doing my Pin It Friday roundups, and this thing got pinned a bunch. It got pinned 810 times on this version of it, but I see it all over the place on Pinterest now. So there, my logo is pretty subtle down in the bottom there.
That's why I was just going to point that out. See, if you're going to do that, do it in a subtle way, because then it just makes the photo look really ugly.
Yeah, I really don't like it if people put it just like right across the center and ruin the image. Like, don't ruin your image. It's not worth ruining your image. I kind of put it there. Now, yeah, I know someone could just cut it off, or just, they could get rid of it if they want to, but if they're going to go to that trouble, then whatever. They're going to go to trouble to steal something anyway, and I'm not going to worry about it. But in that case, that logo is pretty subtle. But
it's subtle, it's tasteful, it looks pretty, and it'll be repinned. If someone puts a watermark right across the middle of their photo, I'm not touching it. Like, I would not.
Yeah, no one's going to repin that.
No one's going to repin it. No one's going to share it. No one's going to, and the bottom line is you want people to share these images through Pinterest. Yes, it's your photo, but, you still want it to be appealing. So be classy about it and be subtle. Like, that's a really good example.
Yeah, and so even though this is a stock image, it's obvious I purchased it on iStock. Because I've put my own wording and stuff on it, then that's why I'm putting my logo. Because I'm not claiming ownership to that stock photo, and when you buy stock photos, you can do that.
Right. Yeah, I've done that too. I do that with my Instagram pictures that I put onto my site, but I don't do them on Instagram. I mean, I guess I'm taking a bit of a risk, but it makes it not look as pretty.
Yeah, it's true. And so the Instagram thing for me, like I say, it's an ease of just doing things quickly, but I haven't been a very heavy Instagram user that much yet. Like I do things on it with it, but I haven't been nearly as invested in it as you are, Nadia. And I'm really, but this is really getting me motivated to start using it a lot more.
While we're on the topic of Instagram, like if you need a bit of a push and you're looking for a way to gain, Instagram's hard to gain followers. Like it is not like Twitter where you follow someone, they follow you back. You follow someone, you follow you back. Oh, I have 400 new followers. It's not like that at all. It's a lot harder to gain followers. So a really neat way to do that, and it's super fun, and it'll get you taking photos and building your photo database, if you want to call it that, is taking part in memes, like on photo memes. So right now I actually manage the Traveling Mom Instagram page. So I take all the I take the photos there, and I share if people in the community are traveling moms or whatever, and they tag it, I'll reshare their photos on our Instagram page, like credit.
And the hashtag for that was
TMomPhoto.
TMomPhoto. I'm going to type this in. TMomPhoto is your
hashtag. All of them are hashtag. So it's hashtag TMomPhoto. And so for the month of May, I started a meme. So every single day of the month, there is a new topic, a new subject, basically, that you'll be photographing. And they're all, you don't have to take it, if it says flower, you don't have to take a picture of a flower. Like, get creative. If you're wearing a dress that has flowers on it, take it of that. If your cup has a flower on it, take it of that. So it really forces you to become creative and think outside the box. And by following that hashtag, you can follow everybody else who's using that hashtag and posting those photos. So you can discover new followers, discover like-minded, moms who are taking photos. You can follow them, interact with them. It's a really great way. It's like a blog. It's like Wordless Wednesday, or like a blog carnival, but for photos.
Now, can I ask a question about this? So now when you put a hashtag in Instagram, it makes that photo public, right? Can anyone searching on that hashtag, can they see it?
Yes, they can search you. They can find you. But all of your photos on Instagram are public unless you make your account private.
Okay.
And so if your account is private and you're taking part in this, nobody will see your photos.
Okay. So all of us, most of us by default, our Instagram accounts are public, right?
Right.
They're not private. Okay. Right. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't participated in any of these types of memes on Instagram, and so far on Instagram, I hadn't been that much interested in gaining followers. I was just mostly private. I have a bunch of followers naturally, just because of people already knowing 5 Minutes for Mom. So we have like a few hundred followers just naturally without putting any effort in. And I'd kind of been like, oh well, I'm sharing so many photos of my kids and this and that, and I hadn't been that worried about it. But Instagram is a great way to grow your more intimate relationships, just even intimate in the sense of not like taking them to sort of a different, to a deeper level, but even as a business. So the thing is you want to think, if you're running a business, you can absolutely still participate.
Yes.
This is a great way, like whether your business, I mean, say you run a virtual assistant business, say you run a photography business, but say you run any other kind of business, say you're a speaker, or you sell direct, you do direct sales, right. Say you run a direct sales business with any of the candle selling companies or this or that selling company. Basically, in all direct sales businesses, you're expanding your circle of influence. You want to make friends, you want to extend your circle of influence, but not in an obnoxious selling kind of a way. And I think apps ways to communicate and just grow your influence, doing something like Instagram is absolutely important. And so you don't want to think, oh, if I'm not just a personal blogger or a mom blogger, Instagram doesn't matter to me. It absolutely matters.
Yeah, because you know what? I'm not a personal blogger. I do not write about my kids. I do not write about my daily life. I do not do any of that. Our site is like a news. We pump out news on the industry as it comes. There's family travel reviews. We're more of a magazine, an online magazine, than we are a vlog. So, I mean, yes, we are a blog, but it's more of an online magazine. There's nothing, I mean, unless my kids are on our trip together or the review is a personal, I put a personal spin on it, yes, of course. But other than that, I don't do any kind of personal blogging. But if you visit my Instagram, you'll see pictures of my son, you'll see pictures of my kids, you'll see pictures of my everyday life, you'll see pictures of me at the store, shopping, stuff like that. And I think, I went back and forth on this, and I thought, but should I be doing it like this? Should I be, but it's nice. It's a look into the editor's life. They're looking into a side of you that they don't see. And it becomes more appealing, especially as a brand. It's definitely appealing. I mean, Alice and Olivia, here's an example. Alice and Olivia, she's a huge fashion designer. Huge. And yes, she could post pictures of fashion all day, and she does post pictures of fashion. But there's a personal side of it that makes her Instagram one of the most popular ones of, out there.
Maybe type, what was that name? Kelly, do you want to type in, which was that an Instagram user that?
I have no idea who that is. You have to.
Yeah, Alice and Olivia. Here, let me get you her actually.
Get the link.
Because it's not like it sounds.
Okay, so we have a question here saying, well, then how do you prevent theft? I've had a problem with photos being stolen. What do you suggest? It's funny. I have to say about photos being stolen. This is kind of funny. There's, and I don't know if it's still out there. It probably still is. A bunch of years ago, someone created a Twitter account with the photo of Olivia.
Yes,
that's on, and we didn't care. They've got an automatic feed of our site into their Twitter thing, so they're tweeting out our posts with having stolen the picture of one of our kids on it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't even care. We didn't even care. Because they're tweeting out our stuff anyway. It was called like Parent School or School Parent or some crazy thing, and they have this little picture of Olivia on it, which is kind of pretty obnoxious, but we're just not going to bother letting ourselves too upset about it. We tried to contact them. It's obviously an automated, spammy kind of person that's not someone that's going to reply to us, but at the same time, they actually were retweeting our stuff, so we're like, whatever, we're not going to upset about it. But it is annoying, and it can be, and different people have different thresholds for how upset they're going to, I haven't put myself on. Different people have different thresholds for how upset they're going to get when a photo's stolen, and like I said, for me, I don't know why I'm so relaxed about it. It annoys me. I just decide I'm not going to get that upset if someone steals my photo. But that's just a personal thing. My goal is really to grow my site and grow obviously 5 Minutes for Mom is a business for us, and it's obviously way worse if you are just a personal blogger sharing your personal stories and someone steals your photos. I can see that being much more sensitive because you're not approaching it more as a business. I'm approaching it as a business. I know some of my photos are going to get stolen. I know some of my content. We have content scraped and stolen all the time. I got bigger things to worry about. I'm just growing my site. I don't care. I'm not going to waste my time with it. It's my personal, but again, that's just my personal thing. I'm not saying it's okay for people to steal content, and I'm not saying you shouldn't approach them. And lots of times, I think just even nicely letting someone know, hey, noticed you kind of borrowed my content, you took my content, just, and then whatever action you want them to take. I approach it being nice first, and if and for me, like I say, I don't usually bother going very deep if something's been stolen. But there's lots of ways to report it now, and you could report a pin or report something.
Yeah, and it's again, it's your personal, it's like Susan says, it's really your own personal preference. I mean, and for me, like I said, I pick and choose what I use it on. If it's a picture of your child and it's their full face and it really would really bother you if someone took it, or it's then put it across the middle. But see, the thing is, you wouldn't be pinning those images. You know what I mean? If there's something that really bothers you, you wouldn't be using those on Pinterest anyway. So if you're using that on your blog post and it's a personal story about whatever, chances are you won't be putting that on Pinterest. It's not something that you would be pinning.
But your readers would.
I don't know. Would they? would they put, I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that. Have you seen, Susan?
Yeah,
Well,
I have a picture of my son. He's sitting at a desk writing that I wrote a blog post about, and it's been pinned like 500,000 times. So, yeah. I mean, they're gonna pin so that they can save that post.
well,
But
I'm just glad that my site has been pinned that many times and be happy about it.
But that doesn't bother you though. That people are taking your image and repinning it. You know what I mean? So that doesn't bother. It doesn't bother you because you're getting extra traffic from that.
Right.
And there's times
That's not what they mean by, I don't think that's what the question was. I don't think the question was, are they going to pin your image from your own thing? I think the question is if they literally go in and grab your image off of your stuff and use it on their own personal stuff. How do they?
No, I totally get that, Kelly. And that's what I'm saying is annoying. So this person took our photo, used it on their Twitter profile as their profile photo. And that was so annoying. And this is the one that's annoyed us the most about a picture being stolen.
There's nothing you've been able to do.
Yeah, you can't, and you can't avoid something. One thing that annoyed us that was before we watermarked photo, and this is photos, and this is a great example of how we have learned from the past and now watermarking. So a few years ago, Janice did this great photo of she did three pictures of these canvases in her hallway. And so there are 4 photos of our different kids in her hallway, and she took this great photo, and it was for a campaign we were running for a canvas company, selling canvases. And then we later found out the owner of the company later let us know, oh hey, by the way, these sites are using it, and they're actually making a bunch of money because they were using our image on an affiliate link to the store, and they were making tons of money off of our image. And yeah, it's annoying, so we sent really polite emails to those sites. And you know what? We had a great response from them. We said, we understand we didn't originally watermark this photo, so you may not have realized where it came from, but it's actually a photo of our kids, and we'd really appreciate you either link back to our site or take the photo down. And so all of them ended up linking back, and it was, and so lesson learned. Now we watermark the photos.
So basically what it boils down to is you can't necessarily keep people from taking your pictures unless you go in and disable right-click on your blog. But even then, with the new Windows thing, there's the little snip tool that automatically comes on, and you can just chop it right on off even if the right-click is done. But if you don't want them to have your picture, then you're going to have to follow up on it, and if they ignore you, then you're going to have to take legal action. That's the only way to do it.
Right. I mean, even if, like she said, even if it's right-click disabled, you can still screenshot it. You can still screenshot it and crop it and upload it. It's nothing.
I want to just emphasize the importance of approaching really nicely and not using sort of an attacking type of tone. You get so much more traction from saying, hey, you probably didn't realize that you got this. Even if you know they blatantly stole it, I would still approach with, you may not have realized that this happened, and say it really nicely instead of attacking, because you won't put their guard up, and then they'll just do it. There's so many times that works. We had an issue once with that applies to so many things. We had an issue with our name, 5 Minutes for Mom. Someone getting close to our name on a new blog that they were starting up, and we approached them really nicely, just with a nice email saying, I know you're just getting started, so you may not have realized, but this will actually be really tough for you to end up using this name because you're going to be coming up against a bunch of branding that's in our site. So it would really probably be in your best interest to rename now before you invest a bunch of time in building your brand that's this name that's really similar to ours. And you know what? She said, thank you so much for letting us know, and she changed her name, changed her URL. Because she was just getting started, and it was easy for her to change it then. If we'd come in with attacking at her, she would have got her back up and said, I have every right for this name. I've reserved it. Because it was just a little bit different. But be nice.
People do the same with content. I've had people copy my entire article and repaste it, many times.
Oh, all the time. People have that happen all the time. And again, a nice email how it works better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where were we at?
We got
Different apps, edit apps. So I think I left off. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Diane wants to know, when you watermark a photo, is there any way that someone else can remove that watermark?
Yes. They just have to crop it.
Or blur it. I mean,
there's all kinds of ways.
You can do so much to.
It's just basically they have to take some more effort. And again, you're not going to stop someone if they really want to do it. So if it's a picture of your child that you do not want anyone else using on the internet, don't put it on the internet.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, most people don't. I mean, the internet, in the most part, you know, most people don't. I haven't had that many problems with that.
Oh, I have it all the time.
Have you? I don't know. But then again, look, I don't post many photos of I don't post many personal photos, so.
But people still. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because I don't know how long you've been blogging. How long have you been blogging?
3 years.
I've been blogging since 2006.
Yeah.
So, and I know Susan has too. They've also been blogging since 2006. So maybe over more years, it's been more.
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
The funny thing is too is that I'm not looking for it. So we often have writers that have written a post on our site and that gets scraped and is on some other site somewhere, and they're watching for it in their Google alerts and stuff like that. So they come to us and say, this site is scraping your content, and we're like, okay, well, you know, you can try to contact them. Otherwise, I don't really care. I don't have time to care. So it's just a personal preference that I just choose not to care.
Yeah, my readers are like, hey, so-and-so took your stuff.
I know, it's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, back to apps.
Oh, okay. So the last one I mentioned, I think, was Snapseed, I believe.
Yep.
Another one that I like to use is Deluxe FX, and that allows you to put frames on your photos. So if you want to frame it with, you know, neat frames, they have 31 different filters, I believe.
Okay, let me write this down. So this is an app, and it's called Deluxe
FX.
FX. So D-E-L-U-X-E, letter F, letter X.
Yeah, like the word deluxe and then FX.
Okay, and that's an app for iPhone.
Yeah. That one is 99 cents, I think. And that one I use mostly for the framing side of things. Another fun idea, too, is if you're creating photo books, these are really neat because you can fix them all up, add your frames, and upload them into your photo books and make them a little more, you know, unique. Afterlight is my next, after Snapseed, Afterlight is my next favorite.
Afterlight, so it's A-F-T-E-R-L-I-G-H-T?
Yes.
And it's an app.
Yeah, and it's basically lighting. So, I mean, really beautiful filters, but you can control the lighting of the filter. So you don't have to, I don't know if you've ever put on a filter and been like, oh, okay, I like the filter, but that's just a little too much. Like, that's a little bit too much. This allows you to put the filter on and adjust it. So you can add a tiny bit of that filter, you can scroll it over and add a little bit more, or go full strength. So you can adjust the lighting and the intensity of the filters that they have, and they have some really beautiful ones. They have a ton that are free, and then some more that you can pay for. I've never paid for them because they have so many that are free.
Okay.
So anyway, they also have a highlight controller on that one.
Very cool. I'm just going to answer Kathy's question quickly. What is scraping? Scraping is sites that automatically are reading your content and republishing it. They call them scraping sites, and they're just spammer people, and I try not to get upset about them, but you can report them. You could report them in different, you know, through different methods and whatever. I don't even bother, but
yeah.
Go on.
So anyway, I just wanted to show you how I'll just show you here how I do my watermarking. It's kind of, you can hardly see it.
I just want to make one other little point about scraping sites and sites that are stealing your content. One of the things, here, I'll put myself on just one sec. One of the ways that I just turn it to my own use is make sure every post of yours has a link back to your own blog. So in the bottom of your post, have it explicitly in the actual body of the post, written by, you know, Kelly Miller, 3 Boys and a Dog, and link 3 Boys and a Dog in your code, because scraping sites and a lot of that's lazy and it's not necessarily going to cut it out. Also, link back to other other posts in your blogs. We do this all the time. We know people are scraping or are using our RSS feed and republishing our full, because we have a full stream RSS stream, and so I just make it to my own benefit, and I link internally to other posts, and just in a logical way, and always at the bottom of every, so even though you might have an author app or something that at the bottom of your post is showing your picture and saying posted by Kelly Miller, or using, you know, the owner field in WordPress or Blogger or whatever, I will explicitly put my link in my blog content. So when it's scraped, I'm just getting some extra links out there.
Right, and I mean, the other thing is too, if they're reposting your content, like this has nothing to do with photos, this is just content, but if they're reposting your content word for word, they're going to get penalized by Google. Like you don't have to, yeah. That stuff's not even going to show up, and they will get penalized because Google pulls those sites off, and you can't.
As duplicate content. Yeah, and as long as you publish first, which obviously you are, if they're stealing your content, your content is the original content, and the other will be duplicate content. And this whole Google authorship thing, which I know Kelly said she's going to be doing in her Learn to Blog series, which everyone should be watching. Kelly and Crystal's big push out for their Learn to Blog series on Tuesday mornings. Kelly and Crystal, they've been running, what are you on, like a dozen? How many have you done so far? Like 15?
We've done, yeah, I think we've done 14.
14. These are amazing. Absolutely. I'm watching them all. I've gone back and watched them all. You can watch them all. They're on, go onto Kelly's YouTube account, or here in her Google, or go onto their blog, or Crystal's, and you can find all of their old ones. And they cover so many details. Both of them have been blogging for a long time, and they know a lot about the ins and outs of a lot of different things. And they're going to be bringing on an expert. Kelly is just trying to figure out who to bring on to talk about authorship.
We got some money. So not this coming Tuesday, but the next one we're going to be talking about exactly how to do Google authorship, how to set it up.
And this is something that I'm going to be listening to because I've been lazy and I haven't figured, like each person has to do it, you know, for themselves, and so I haven't gotten around to doing it, and so I'm going to be watching their thing. They're going to bring on an expert.
Huge difference in search in.
Have you set up yours, Nadia? Your authorship?
You have to watch for a thing. You definitely have to do that.
Yeah.
Definitely a must.
Okay, I interrupted again, and let me just see before we get going.
2 minutes.
Oh my gosh, we've been talking so long, but I wasn't even keeping an eye on the time. Typical me. Okay, Nadia, keep going.
While you have
so I just wanted to show you really quickly just 2 examples of some photos that I took straight through with my iPhone and just a little bit of editing, you know, not a ton, just to show you how amazing iPhone photography can be. Okay, so we were on a cruise in December. There was a press event that we took part of, and this was just the dock in Virgin Gorda that I took a photo of. You can see that the watermark very, very subtly there because I want people to, I didn't want it, I wanted the photo to do the talking, and I didn't really want to make one very obvious. So anyway, that's just an example of how I do my watermarks. So that's, I mean, that's a pretty impressive photo, and I wouldn't, you know, you would think that that would have been taken with a DSLR, but that's just straight out of your iPhone. Here's another example, my daughter. Now, this one, you may notice is kind of, it's got like a 3D aspect to it. I don't know if you can, you know, it's got more really crisp details. That one was taken with HDR. Now, if you're not familiar with HDR, there is an app. Sorry, I'm just going to clear this here. There is an app called Pro HDR. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with HDR, it captures a greater dynamic range in terms of color and light. So if you take a photo with your regular camera and you're taking a photo of something that you're seeing yourself, but then when you look at the photo, it doesn't have that same, it's not as vivid or as bright as you remember, and it was taken on automatic, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about using manual or anything. HDR images compensate for that loss of detail. So the way it works is it layers multiple pictures of the same image, but with different exposure levels. So it'll just layer light and dark, you know, all these different images to create, and you're left with this image that's just eye-popping, like very, it has almost a 3D aspect to it.
Is that Trey Ratcliffe's app?
So I'm not sure. Who
I'm going to just also post up here another, John in the comments had said another previously another app, and I'm wondering if that one's by, because Cliff is the big dude in HD. He's amazing. So I'm just gonna, I haven't used, I'm gonna put someone in.
While you're doing that, Alyssa or Eliza, I'm not sure, but way earlier she said that she uses Typic, T-Y.
Yeah, I saw her say that.
Yes.
For her watermarks.
Typic.
That's
Typic.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And Site Fuzz says Diptyque.
Yeah, someone else said that. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I used it.
DIP. How do I spell it again?
DIPTIC.
Used for watermarks?
She says to use text and make it see-through. So opaque.
Okay. All right, Nadia, did you have a couple of last sentences? We're going to wrap up here in just a sec.
Yeah, Diptyque also has an option to do collages, but I was using the other two more often, so I just deleted it off my phone. But yes, you can do the text with that. Like I don't do my watermarks with iPhone apps, so I usually just do it on my computer. But those are two really, really good ones that were mentioned.
Excellent.
So anyway, that app that I was talking about, that's Pro HDR. Highly recommend that app if you're looking to do HDR photography with your iPhone.
Okay.
And if you go onto Susan's site, 5 Minutes for Mom, and you see that photo that I created for this chat, there's a photo there of sand and like a marble in the sand. If you're wondering how to create that image, it was created with Marble Cam. It's kind of just for fun, but it's really neat, the photos that you can create with that, because what it does is it takes your photo and puts it so that it's as if you're focusing on a glass marble with a macro lens.
Okay, I'm going to just share this, and then we can take a quick look on that. Just one sec. And then, yeah, I know we got to end this, but just one second.
And that's it. And that's the...
Okay, let me just, I'm screen sharing here. Okay, so it's...
See that photo, how it's like it's like a marble?
The top one here?
Yeah.
With the sand.
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. That's cute. So repeat again, how did you do that?
So that was created with Marble Cam.
Marble Cam, okay.
Marble Cam. And it takes your photo and makes it look as if you're focusing on a glass marble, but with a macro lens. So anyway, that one's just for fun. Something that you guys might want to... Right?
So wait, we're back on air.
Sorry. Right at the end, we end up dying right at the end. Okay, so we've come back to say goodbye. And
sorry, it ran a little long.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This has been so informative. Thank you, Nadia. We really appreciate it. We're going to embed this video. You can watch it in this event stream. We're going to embed it on our blogs and include a list of the links that Nadia talked about and maybe a few more. So thank you so much. Join us in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we're going to be having guest Alyssa Avant. We're going to be talking more about creating your own service-based business. And we're going to use her example. She's a virtual assistant, and we're going to use her example of the virtual assistant business that she's created and learn more about creating service-based businesses. So join us. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Nadia. And thank you all for joining us.
Bye.